Long before humans left their homeworld, the galaxy was ruled by powerful alien civilizations. They built empires of steel, controlled the stars, and believed nothing could ever threaten them. For thousands of years, they were certain they had already seen everything the universe could create. But there was something they did not understand. Something hidden in the oldest ruins of the galaxy. In a forgotten system, on a world burned by time, explorers once found strange markings carved into stone. The language was old, far older than any known race. Scholars and priests from many species tried to read it, and when they finally unlocked its meaning, fear spread like a shadow. The message was simple but terrifying. One day, a fragile species will rise. Small in body, short in life, weak in strength, but they will be unstoppable. They will master fire and storm. They will walk among the stars, and when they come, the galaxy will shake. At first, the great empires laughed at it. How could such a prophecy be true? A weak and fragile race stronger than the mighty powers of the galaxy? It was impossible. To most, it became nothing more than a story told to children. A tale of fear, a myth, a warning never to be taken seriously. But some did not laugh. Hidden among the stars, a few scholars watched carefully, keeping their eyes open. They believed the prophecy was not a joke, but a warning. And then, the signals came. It began with strange radio waves, traveling through the void. Messages, sounds, and voices carried by primitive technology. The source was a small blue planet in a quiet arm of the galaxy. The planet was called Earth. Its people called themselves humans. At first, the galaxy ignored them. Humans were too small, too primitive, too young. They had no fleets, no colonies, no empire. To the great civilizations, Earth was less than dust. But time passed, and the signals grew stronger. Humans built machines that flew to their own moon. They sent probes into the dark. They discovered faster engines, stronger weapons, and smarter machines. Every year, their progress shocked those who watched. The whispers began again. Could these be the ones? Could humans be the prophecy? In the Grand Council of the Zalari, leaders argued. Some laughed again. They are fragile. They break easily. One warship from us could erase their planet. Others were not so sure. They remembered the prophecy. Fragile, yes, but unstoppable. Is this not what we are seeing? The council could not decide. But in secret, fleets were prepared. Scouts were sent. Eyes turned toward Earth. Then came the day everything changed. A human warship entered alien space. Alone. It was not large, not powerful compared to alien vessels. It looked weak, untested. Yet, for the first time, the prophecy felt alive. The alien fleet moved to intercept, laughing at the thought of easy victory. But as they prepared for battle, something strange happened. The human ship did not retreat. It advanced. Inside the council chamber, tension grew. Messages arrived from the front line. Alien commanders, confident only hours before, now sounded afraid. The battle was not going as expected. The human ship fought with strange tactics, reckless, clever, unpredictable. One by one, alien ships were destroyed. Panic spread across the chamber. How could this be? How could a small, fragile species defeat fleets that had ruled the stars for centuries? And then someone whispered the words that silenced everyone. The prophecy, it is real. For the first time in thousands of years, the galaxy felt something it had forgotten. Fear. Because if humans were truly the ones spoken of in the prophecy, then everything was about to change. The rulers of the stars had always believed they were safe. But now, watching the destruction unfold, they realized the truth. They were living at the dawn of a new age. An age where humans, the fragile, short-lived, reckless creatures from a small blue planet, would rise higher than anyone had ever imagined. The galaxy was not ready. The empires were not prepared. And yet, it was already too late. The prophecy had begun. And humanity's shadow was already falling across the stars. The galaxy had always believed in numbers. The strongest fleet, the largest army, the greatest firepower, these had been the rules of survival for thousands of years. No one had ever challenged that truth. Until the humans arrived. The first recorded encounter happened at the edge of the Zalari Empire. Patrol ships detected an unknown vessel moving through their territory. It was not one of their allies, nor was it from any known empire. At first, they believed it to be a smuggler or a pirate ship. But the closer they looked, the stranger it became. The ship's design was different. Its weapons were crude, its armor thin, its engine technology seemed outdated. By every measurement, it looked weak. The Zalari commanders laughed. Is this the threat we feared? This fragile ship? Orders were given: intercept and destroy. A fleet of 30 alien warships surrounded the lone human vessel. They outnumbered it, outgunned it, and blocked every escape route. To the Zalari, the outcome was already certain. But the human ship did not try to run. It moved forward. Inside the council chamber, where leaders watched through live transmissions, confusion grew. The human ship advanced straight into enemy fire. The aliens opened fire with plasma cannons and laser batteries, certain the fragile vessel would shatter in moments. It did not. Instead, the human ship twisted, darted, and spun in ways no one expected. Its movements were wild, chaotic, yet effective. Every blast that should have hit, missed. Every maneuver that looked foolish, somehow placed the human ship in perfect position to strike back. And then it fired. The human weapons were smaller, less powerful than alien cannons. But they were precise. With brutal accuracy, the ship struck weak points the Zalari never imagined an enemy could find so quickly. Engines exploded. Shields failed. Warships that had stood for centuries as symbols of power crumbled in fire. The 30 ships that had been sent to crush the humans began to fall. In the council chamber, silence spread. Generals who had mocked the prophecy leaned forward, eyes wide. Each second, the battle grew worse for the aliens. A commander shouted into the communication line, "They fight like nothing we have seen before. Their technology is weak, but their tactics, impossible. They do not fear death. They adapt every second." The fleet panicked. Ships broke formation, trying to escape the slaughter. But the human vessel hunted them down one by one. In less than an hour, the proud Zalari fleet was gone. One ship, one fragile ship, had destroyed 30 war machines. The last transmission before silence was a desperate cry from a Zalari captain: "The prophecy is alive. The humans are the prophecy." The council chamber erupted in chaos. Some leaders shouted to prepare more fleets. Others demanded to send spies, to study humans before attacking again. A few, their voices shaking, whispered the words no one wanted to hear: "We cannot stop them." Fear spread faster than fire. For the first time in history, the galaxy realized strength alone could not protect them. Numbers and weapons meant nothing against an enemy that fought with such reckless intelligence. The humans had shown the galaxy something new. War was not only about power, it was about the mind. About creativity. About refusing to die, even when death seemed certain. Reports of the battle raced through every empire. Some refused to believe it, calling it lies or exaggeration. But those who saw the recordings knew the truth. They had watched 30 ships burn. They had watched one small human vessel change the rules of war. And in the quiet halls of alien palaces, rulers asked the same question: if one human ship can do this, what happens when an entire fleet arrives? The prophecy was no longer a forgotten myth. It was reality. The galaxy had entered a new age, whether it wanted to or not. And humanity had only just begun. The news of the first human victory spread like wildfire across the stars. It did not take weeks or months, it took only hours. The destroyed Zalari fleet had broadcast its final moments before silence, and those signals were picked up by every listening post across the galaxy. What they saw was unbelievable. 30 proud warships of the Zalari Empire, armed with the best weapons of their kind, had been destroyed by one single vessel. A ship from a species barely known, a species many had once dismissed as too young, too weak, too fragile to matter. The recordings showed every detail: the chaotic movements of the human ship, the precise strikes, the relentless pursuit until the last Zalari vessel burned. To some, it looked like madness. To others, it looked like genius. To all, it looked like a nightmare come true. In the Grand Council of Empires, panic took root. The chamber was filled with leaders from dozens of species: scaled beings with sharp eyes, tall creatures with wings folded against their backs, machine-like races whose voices echoed like metal. Normally, this chamber was a place of pride, where the most powerful spoke with calm authority. But today, it was a storm of fear. "They cannot be allowed to expand," one warlord shouted, his claws scraping against the table. "If humans grow stronger, we are finished." "They are nothing but savages," another voice argued. "Their weapons are crude. Their technology is weak. We simply underestimated them. Next time, we will destroy them." "Next time," a frail scholar whispered. "Did you not see the battle? 30 against 1. And they still lost. How many more fleets must fall before you understand? The prophecy has begun. That word again. Prophecy. The chamber fell into uneasy silence as the memory of those ancient ruins was spoken aloud. Generations had mocked the warning. But now, many eyes filled with doubt. Perhaps the prophecy was never a myth. Perhaps it was a warning ignored for too long. A hologram lit up the chamber, replaying the last Zalari transmission. The alien captain's voice cracked with fear as his ship fell apart. The prophecy is alive. The humans are the prophecy. The sound of his words hung in the air like a ghost. Some leaders demanded action. We must strike Earth itself, one commander said coldly. Destroy their world before they spread any further. End them while we still can. But others were not so sure. And what if we fail? A nervous ambassador asked. What if they defeat us again? If one ship can burn 30, then what will happen when we face an entire fleet? We may bring destruction upon ourselves. The council divided into two sides, those who demanded extermination and those who wanted to wait, to watch, to study. Fearful whispers filled the chamber. A machine being spoke in a voice like grinding steel. Humans are unpredictable. They do not fight with rules. They do not fear death. They adapt faster than any species we have seen. That is their power. That is why we could lose everything. Arguments turned to shouting. Claws slammed the tables, wings beat against the chamber air, voices rose in panic. Never before had the Grand Council sounded so divided, so desperate. At last, the eldest among them, a being so ancient its skin looked like cracked stone, raised its voice. Silence. The chamber obeyed. The elder's eyes glowed faintly as it spoke. I lived long enough to see the prophecy discovered. I lived long enough to laugh at it. But now, I see we were wrong. Humans are here. And the galaxy trembles. We must decide, fight or submit. There is no other path. The words sent a chill through the chamber. Fight or submit. Was this the true choice the galaxy now faced? Outside the council walls, whispers of fear grew stronger. Common citizens heard rumors of the human ship. Soldiers spoke of it as if it were a ghost story. Merchants told each other that the age of alien empires was ending. And on Earth, humans did not know how much fear they had already spread. To them, the encounter was just one battle, one test of strength in a universe they were still learning to understand. But to the galaxy, it was the first sign of doom. In the council chamber, the session ended with no clear answer. Fleets would be built, yes. Spies would be sent, yes. But deep inside, many leaders already knew the truth. The prophecy was real. And if it was real, then there was no stopping what was coming. The age of alien dominance was ending. The age of humanity had begun. The galaxy had always measured power by size and strength. The largest fleets, the heaviest cannons, the strongest shields, those were the marks of supremacy. But the humans shattered that idea in a single battle. The Zalari Empire had lost 30 ships to 1. Entire worlds trembled with fear. Yet what terrified the galaxy most was not the human weapons. It was something else, something no one fully understood. It was the way humans fought. The recordings of the battle were studied endlessly. Alien scholars, admirals, and strategists gathered around glowing screens, analyzing every move of the lone human vessel. They expected to find superior weapons, hidden technology, or unknown science. Instead, they found none of those things. The ship's cannons were weaker than standard plasma artillery. Its armor was thin compared to alien alloys. Its shields were not advanced at all. By every measure of technology, humans were far behind. And yet, they had won. How? The answer came slowly, whispered first by scholars and later admitted by generals. It was not their weapons. It was not their ships. It was their minds. Humans thought differently. The recordings showed wild, reckless maneuvers, moves no alien pilot would ever attempt. The human ship darted into enemy fire, used debris as cover, and even feigned damage to trick its opponents. Every moment of the battle was filled with decisions no other species would dare to make. And every risk somehow paid off. Alien commanders stared in disbelief. They should have been destroyed, one admiral muttered. But they turned chaos into strategy. They make disorder their weapon. The council called it madness. But those who studied longer realized the truth. It was not madness. It was adaptability. Humans could change in the middle of battle. They could learn in seconds. Where alien fleets relied on tradition, discipline, and rigid orders, humans thrived in confusion. When the rules of war broke down, humans grew stronger. This was their secret weapon. Not strength, not numbers, not technology, but adaptability. And that frightened the galaxy more than any cannon ever could. Reports soon arrived from spies sent near Earth. They observed human society, searching for answers. What they found only deepened the fear. On Earth, humans fought each other for thousands of years. Wars, conflicts, revolutions, every era was filled with battles. They were a species forged in struggle. Every mistake became a lesson. Every defeat became preparation for the next fight. The spies reported, they are born for conflict. Their entire history is training. They evolve in the middle of war. If one tactic fails, they invent another. If one weapon breaks, they build a new one. If one generation falls, the next rises stronger. To the galaxy, this was unnatural. Most species avoided war, fearing extinction. But humans had survived it again and again. They did not collapse under pressure, they grew from it. In secret meetings, alien generals admitted what they feared most. We can predict every other enemy. We know how they fight. But humans cannot be predicted. This unpredictability was more dangerous than any weapon. It meant no fleet could ever be certain of victory. And then came another discovery, one that chilled even the bravest leaders. Humans were not united. Earth was divided into nations, each with its own armies, governments, and ambitions. Yet even divided, they built ships strong enough to crush fleets. What happens, a trembling ambassador asked, when they unite? The question hung in silence. None wanted to answer it. Because the answer was obvious. If humanity ever truly united, nothing in the galaxy could stop them. The prophecy had warned that a fragile race would rise, small in body but unstoppable in spirit. Now, the galaxy understood. Fragile they may be, but their adaptability was strength beyond measure. The secret was out. Humanity's greatest weapon was not built of steel or fire. It was themselves. And in the deep chambers of alien empires, leaders whispered the truth they dared not speak in public. We cannot fight them forever. If we try, we will lose. But still, others demanded resistance. Fleets were prepared, alliances forged, and a massive coalition planned to destroy the humans once and for all. None of them understood the truth. Every battle against humanity only made them stronger. Every defeat only prepared them for greater victories. The prophecy had begun to unfold, and the galaxy now knew humanity's secret weapon was not a machine. It was evolution in real time. It was the unstoppable spirit of a species that refused to die. And against that, no empire was safe. The galaxy was never the same after the humans revealed their secret weapon. It was not a machine, not a superweapon, not a new kind of shield. It was something far worse. It was adaptability. Every empire now knew it. Every fleet commander now feared it. And every world whispered the same question: what happens when they come for us? The answer soon arrived. After the destruction of the Zalari fleet, humans did not stop. They continued to explore, to expand, to send their ships deeper into alien space. At first, it was only scouts and small vessels. But each one was stronger, faster, smarter than the last. Every battle they fought taught them something new. Every enemy they faced gave them another lesson. The galaxy realized with horror that fighting humans only made them more dangerous. On the world of Vera, an empire tried to ambush a single human cruiser with a fleet of 50 ships. The humans destroyed 20 before the rest fled. The next month, the humans returned with a whole squadron and crushed the empire's defenses completely. On the frozen moons of Arith, another empire unleashed weapons designed to freeze entire ships solid. The first human vessel was caught and nearly destroyed. But when the humans returned, they had already built new systems that made them immune. The freezing weapons became useless. Every time the galaxy tried to stop them, the humans grew stronger. Fear spread faster than light. Merchants whispered in marketplaces, "Do you hear? Another empire has fallen." Soldiers muttered in barracks, "If they come here, we are finished." Even rulers in their golden palaces could not sleep. The shadow of the prophecy haunted them. For the prophecy had warned of this. They will rise, fragile but unstoppable. And when they come, the galaxy will shake. And the galaxy was shaking. Entire empires that once ruled for millennia now felt powerless. The Zolari, once feared across the stars, had become a symbol of weakness. The Vera were shattered. The Arith were broken. More and more names were added to the list of the fallen. It was not only the battles that terrified the galaxy. It was the speed. Humans learned faster than anyone believed possible. They did not wait centuries to evolve, they changed in years, in months, sometimes even in days. No alien species could keep up. A voice rose in the Grand Council, "Do you not see? This is the consequence." The prophecy was not a warning, it was a truth. Their rise means our fall. The chamber trembled with those words. For the first time, many leaders admitted it openly. The age of alien empires was ending. The prophecy did not lie. But some still clung to hope. They believed if the galaxy united, if every empire came together, they could still stop the humans. So a grand coalition was formed. Dozens of species gathered their fleets. Billions of lives, countless war machines, all united by one purpose: destroy humanity before it was too late. The coalition sent its greatest fleet into human space. Entire stars were darkened by the shadows of their ships. Their confidence returned for a moment. Surely, no single species could face such a force. But the humans were ready. They did not meet the coalition with fear. They met them with fire. The battle that followed was the largest in living memory. Worlds shook. Suns were lit with explosions. The humans fought with everything they had: strategy, sacrifice, and relentless adaptation. And when the dust cleared, the galaxy could hardly believe the truth. The coalition, the largest force ever assembled, was broken. Shattered. Scattered. Humanity stood victorious. The terrifying consequence of the prophecy was now undeniable. Humanity's rise did not just mean new power. It meant the downfall of everyone else. One by one, alien empires collapsed. Some surrendered, others fled, and many simply waited for the inevitable. Fear consumed them more than war ever could. And across the stars, a single truth echoed. The prophecy was not just about war. It was about destiny. And that destiny was now unfolding, unstoppable, in the form of humanity. The galaxy had ruled for ages. But now, their age was ending. The age of humans had begun. The galaxy had never seen such unity. For thousands of years, empires fought each other, over territory, over resources, over pride. But fear of the humans forced them together. Old enemies set aside grudges. Bitter rivals signed pacts. The coalition was born. It was the largest armada in history. Billions of soldiers. Tens of thousands of ships. War machines the size of moons. Entire worlds emptied their fleets to join. In their minds, there was no other choice. If humanity was not stopped now, there would never be another chance. The plan was simple: crush them with overwhelming numbers. No trick, no tactic, no strategy could survive the sheer weight of this army. At least, that's what they believed. When the coalition arrived at the edge of human space, the stars themselves seemed to disappear behind their fleets. Their commanders felt certain of victory. Some even began to argue over how to divide Earth once it was conquered. But humans were watching. They had known the coalition was coming. Spies, intercepted messages, and simple logic had warned them. Humanity was not afraid. They were ready. The first human ships appeared, small, almost insignificant compared to the sea of alien warships. The coalition laughed. "This is all they have. A few weak cruisers. We will burn them in minutes." But the humans were not trying to match numbers. They were using their greatest weapon: unpredictability. The battle began with chaos. Human ships moved in strange patterns, weaving between massive alien vessels. They attacked from angles no one expected. They struck weak points, then vanished before the coalition could react. Whole squadrons of alien ships fired blindly into space, hitting nothing but shadows. Then came the second wave. The humans had lured the coalition into traps: mines hidden in asteroid fields, drones disguised as debris, weapons fired from moons already prepared for battle. Entire sections of the coalition fleet were destroyed before they realized they had been deceived. Still, the coalition pressed forward. Their numbers were too great to stop. Ship after ship poured into human space, determined to crush the defenders. But the humans never broke. Every time the coalition adapted, the humans changed again. When the coalition used heavy shields, humans overloaded them with focus strikes. When they sent swarms of fighters, humans tricked them into colliding with their own ships. Every attempt to predict human tactics failed. It was like fighting the void itself, shifting, unpredictable, impossible to grasp. Hours turned into days. The greatest armada in galactic history was being torn apart piece by piece. Coalition commanders shouted in disbelief. Why won't they break? Why won't they surrender? The answer came from a human transmission, broadcast across every channel. We do not surrender. Ever. Those words struck harder than any weapon. By the third day, the coalition was collapsing. Fleets retreated in panic. Commanders abandoned their forces. The largest war machines, built to terrify, drifted powerless as human ships tore through them. And then came the moment no one thought possible. The humans counterattacked. From hidden shipyards, from secret bases, from worlds the coalition had ignored, an entire human fleet appeared. Not one, not two, but hundreds of warships, each more advanced than before. The coalition, already bleeding, now faced a nightmare. The humans had not only survived, they had grown stronger during the battle. The final hours were slaughter. Alien ships scattered in all directions, but the humans hunted them relentlessly. By the time the battle ended, the coalition was gone. Billions were dead. Entire empires had emptied their fleets, and now those fleets no longer existed. The galaxy had gambled everything on this one war. And they had lost. The resistance had failed. When the survivors returned to their homeworlds, they brought more than defeat. They brought despair. Entire empires stood defenseless, their fleets destroyed, their treasuries empty. Their citizens looked to the stars with terror. And everywhere, the same words were spoken: we cannot stop them. Humanity cannot be stopped. The prophecy had been proven beyond doubt. Humanity was not only rising, they were unstoppable. The coalition, the greatest army in galactic history, had been broken like glass. And in the silence that followed, one truth echoed across every world. The age of alien dominance was over. The galaxy belonged to humans now.